Good day, one and all. My name is Kathy, and I'd like to welcome you to the next episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. Today, I'm going to be using some more supplies that I got with my kid in the candy store syndrome. I was at a rubber stamping convention last year, and I bought all of these rubber stamps from Peddler's Den. It's called Making a Scene. You've got animals, foliage, grass, houses, mountain ranges. I even bought a little raccoon and an opossum based on their make and take. And I'm going to be using some of those today, along with the pan pastels that they also sell. I have more colors in this, but this is the colors I chose to work with today. So we're going to make a farm scene with horses. And I believe I got the horses from the same group a couple of years ago. And it's not marked on the back. It's either from Peddler's Den or from Grey Wolf Graphics. I can't quite remember which one. But this is what we're going to work with. We're going to make a lovely farm scene for a Father's Day card. It's going to be easy, quick, I hope. So let's get started. Today's card is going to be another 5x7, which is my standard. And I'm using an ivory or a cream colored cardstock today. And this measures 10 inches by 7 inches. Score it at the 5-inch. Crease it, fold it over, and crease it down with your bone folder. Then a gold piece of cardstock. This measures 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. And that'll be our first layer down. And then I have a piece of brown. This is just paper. It measures 4.5 by 6.5. And I see I have some rough edges, so I'm just going to use I thought I got these all earlier. Just a little emery board. Get these at Dollar Tree, Walmart. Just to take off the rough edges. And these are our 2 bottom layers, and then we're going to be stamping and using the pan pastels on this piece of white, which measures 4 3/8 by 6 3/8. So I'm going to start by gluing these ones down. That way they can dry, because all of the other card making stuff is done with that sheet of white. And I'm just using my Tombow glue. You can use any glue, your favorite glue, whatever works to hold this down. I just want to kind of center it on the card. And then the piece of brown. Now it's coming out more. All right. Have that. Let's see if that looks fairly center. That looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to set this off to the side, and I have this large acrylic block that I covered up, and I'm going to set that on it to hold the weight down. Now we're going to start stamping on this. So let's move the pan pastels aside. And I don't need this anymore. Okay, and I have my waffle flower grip mat in there, and I'm just going to kind of put this in the middle, because the things I'm going to be stamping on here are kind of large. Now, I'm also going to be doing masking today. And also from Peddler's Den, I got this roll of masking paper. I got this at the craft show last year. You can use any masking paper out there that you have. But I'm going to be masking a horse and a barn. So I cut those out, and they're masked and ready to go. So we're going to stamp our horses down first. And I want the horses kind of to be in this bottom corner of the card. And this is a foam back stamp, so I am going to lay it down first. The other ones are just red rubber, and they're not backed. But I'll show you how you can use them on your MISTI without having a backing on them. I'm just going to stamp the horses down using my homemade stamping helper here. Oh, that looks perfect. And we're a little squirt bottle of water. I'll just clean that off. And I have an old rag that I use for wiping these off. Okay, I'll set the horse aside. Now I need my barn. And that is, it's called Making a Scene from Peddler's Den. Oh, they have so many things. If you haven't checked out this company, do it if you have the budget, or hold off if you don't. But otherwise, check them out. They've got some great stuff. Now, I put a couple pieces of double-sided adhesive using my tape runner. And you just put one of those on there. Figure out where you want your barn. And I kind of want it up here, off the card a little bit. And then, voila, it's held down. And I'm going to stamp my barn. And I'm using the Versified Clear Nocturne ink for this. It dries fairly slowly on some papers, but the paper I'm using is just plain old cardstock, I think, from Joann's. It seems to dry fairly quickly. That looks good. I'm not worried about this little blemish I have over here because that's going to be covered up. Now, I'm going to cover up my barn. And when you do your mask, you want to make this a little bit smaller than your stamped image. And see down here, this stamped the whole leg. So I just split the legs so I could cut out in between. And we're going to cover up our little horse and pony. And just put that down. Now, clean off this stamp because we're done with the barn. This, they had some make and takes demonstrating this, and this was really fun. And they have a wide variety of different pictures of things that you could make with their scenes. I'm going to just put that on the back of the envelope. Now, I have some big, tall it's called Pine Tree Light. And why I want to put the mask down is I want to put some trees so that they look like they're behind the barn. So I guess I'll move this down just a little bit more because I'm going to move it like that. Just have a tree here off to the side. Didn't have to ink the top, but there. Now, I'm just going to clean it real quick because I want to move it over. I want to stamp this 2 more times. One up towards the top, and move it down. If I'd used my large MISTI, it would work a little bit better, but they don't have one of these wonderful grip mats to fit in there. And I'm just going to ink up the top of this. Just like that. And it should still stick, and it does. And I just want to put the top. I'm not worried about the bottom. All right, that looks good. Now, I do want to do a full tree over here on this side of the barn. I kind of have an idea in my head, but I'm just going to make it up as I go. Okay, that looks pretty good. I am going to clean off. I found that this cleans off just as nicely, but the black ink does tend to leave a little stain behind if you don't get to it real quick. I also, on the small one, let's see if I can find it here, I don't recommend coloring with alcohol inks on these pads. I did this the other day. I colored a little butterfly antenna, and I don't know if you can see that on camera, but the alcohol ink stained this. It doesn't damage it. It's still sticky. It works perfect, but it will leave a stain behind if you use alcohol inks. Okay, we're done with this rubber stamp. Now I'll move this back up because I'm mainly going to be stamping down below. Okay, there's the pine tree. Now, there's also, if I can find it, it's a path. It's called Dirt Road. I want to kind of put that, see if I can get this right, coming from the barn and coming down to the horses, which is why I masked off the horses. So let's try that. Yeah. All right. And this is why you do the masking, because if you didn't, you would have lines going through your horses, which would be good if you were going to cover them up solid, but not if you want it to look like a horse without a road in the middle of it. All right. Now, let's see. No, I don't want to use, I thought I might use the small tree, but I don't want to use a small tree. Oh, something just went flying. Oh, goodness. Did I lose the stamp? Oh, if it did, I don't see it. So let's see what we've got left here. Okay, I do want to, there's some birds flying in the sky. I kind of want to put them up there a little bit. And it doesn't matter if they're cattywampus, straight, crooked. They're your birds. You can have them do whatever you want. There, some birds flying in the sky. Keep looking for my water bottle, and it's right over here. Well, there's a paper towel I wanted earlier. Now, no, I don't want to use that tree. I do want to use some of this grass. This is sparse grass, and I kind of want to spread it throughout. So I'm going to put this on a stamping block, which I thought I had sitting right here. I don't, so I'm going to grab one of my other ones here. Kind of. Oh, pardon me, my telephone's ringing. I apologize for that. I manage the local cemetery, so when my landline rings, I kind of have to answer that. Let me get my glasses back on here, and let's go back to stamping the grass. And I just kind of want this to be hit or miss, and it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put some up by there and see if I have any left on there to put over there, and I do. Okay. I'm going to put, we'll put some down here at the horse's feet. And I'm going to see if I can get another stamping of that. And I can, good. All right, I think there's another grass that I want to use. All right. That's it. I'm trying to get the full money out of everything. Now, okay, here. There's this little tiny grass. And put some more sticky tape on that. I said, you don't have to mount your red rubbers stamps. You can just use them like this. Oh, I better put that straight so that I know which way I'm stamping. And we're just going to put a little bit of grass here and there. Put some of this tall down by the horses. Make it look like they're eating the taller grass. And a little patch here. Okay, I think that is it. Now this little grass, I cut it off. It came with this tall grass. You have short and tall grasses, but it was one stamp. And I didn't want to use both at once because it was like shaped like this. So you'd have an upside down and a right side up grass. So I just cut them apart. Okay, we are done with our stamping. So I'm going to just close this Misty up after I clean it off just a little bit. I'm loving these grip mats. Oh my goodness. I have this large one that I have here. This one, unfortunately, they're telling me is currently not available. I think they're trying to find another maker of this for them. This is the 8.5 by 8.5. It is available on Amazon if you go and get the big kit that I got. If you don't need the big kit, I recommend waiting and see if they can't find a maker. Now we're going to peel off our masks. And I don't know how. Oh, that's on the horse itself. Okay. And there we go. Now for the fun. I'm just going to get this down. We're going to use our pan pastels and color away. Now the sponges I got for this were huge. I just cut mine in like 4ths and made them smaller. But this is how they come. But that's a little too big for what I want to do. Now, okay. I'm going to start with the sky. You know, I think I'll put my mask back on because I don't want to color my barn quite yet. All right, so we're going to color the sky. This is going to be weird, but I want it to kind of be a night sky, or a sunrise, sunset sky. And I'm just going to do a little orange, just a little orange. I know, it seems weird, but just wait. I'm thinking. Now I'm going to use the other side of this for the yellow, and I'm going to throw some yellow in, and we're just coloring. And the pan pastels do wash off this sticky mat, grip mat. I checked. All right. Now I'm going to go in and get as close to the barn as I can. There we go. Now for the barn itself, I want to color brown. And I'm just going to rub it in. When I get to the edges, I'll try and be a little gentler. Doesn't need to be too perfect because this is an old barn. Now for the roof, I'm going to, this brown was Burnt Sienna. This orange is orange. That's a duplicate of the orange. And this is Diarylide Yellow. Now this brown is Burnt Sienna Extra Dark. And I want to do this for the roof. There, and then just put a few little highlights. I'm trying to go with some shading. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. All right. Now, I'm going to put this back on the horse. I should have left that on, but I wanted you to see what it looked like. Now I'm going to do, let's pick this up and we'll clean these colors off so I don't get it on my card where I don't want it to be. Just a little water. Oh, a little bit more water. Okay, now I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can do the grasses. And I want to go, I'm going to go light to start, and I'm going to use this like olive green. And I'm going right over the dirt path. Don't want to go on my horse. I better rub down instead of lifting up my horse's legs there and making their legs green. Okay, now I'm going to add, let's see what color green this is. Okay, that's good. We're going to add some highlighting accents of this color. And then I'm going to go a little bit darker down here. I hope I'm not off camera with this. Now, those greens I used, this green, the darker green was Perm green shade. This olive green was bright yellow green shade. And this green is Chrom Oxide green. I want to go back to my browns. I'm going to do a little bit of brown, just a smidge. I don't want too much on here. I'm just going to put a little bit on the path now, and a little bit on the fence of the barn. Okay. Now, I'm going to lift up the horse. And I guess I'll use this other side. I want to do the horse in this yellow brown, I think. Yeah. Kind of an orangey brown. And I'm just going, I've kind of squished that down to kind of make a point. They do come, you can get these things, they're a little bit too big for me. I wished we had like a very narrow, almost like a paintbrush. I wonder if those new stamping tools would work. I got somewhere I don't want it, so I will cover that up with green here in a minute. Now I want to add a little bit more of the brown to the horse. Maybe just what I have on here. Just to give it a mid-tone, so it's not so yellowy orangey. And now I want to take the dark brown and very fine point it on the hooves. All right, we need a little bit more on the colt. Yeah, that looks good. But I did get some orange where I don't want it. It's weird, these pan pastels, only one in the whole container comes with a lid. I think you're supposed to stack them, but I like being able to see the colors I have. All right, oh, I wanted some more green. And we'll go with the darker green. And put a little in here and just kind of smush it out. You can even smush it with your finger. And cover up that orange with some green. Put a little bit more on the edges. And I think I'm going to put some up here. Come on. It's just, it's a chalk kind of a paint, so you can rub it with your finger. There, that's it. Let me clean my finger off here with a wet wipe. I thought I had, maybe that's the stamp I was missing. I thought I had like a small patch of grass that were smaller than that one even. But that looks good. Clean off my grip mat. And put it back on its plastics over here. Okay, now let's put this card together. I did have, I don't have a small sentiment, so I had my Cricut cut out Happy Father's Day. I want to put it on here, but I don't want to leave it white. And I have to figure out where I want to put it. So let's get the card together and then see where I want to put that and how I want to color it. Okay, get my... Oh, wrong one. That's my old one. Let's put this on here. And I'm going to use my wet wipe. I had some glue overflow onto the gold metallic, and that washes right off. Let's just set this down for a minute. And let's decide where we want to put that Happy Father's Day greeting. And I'm thinking, let's try it in yellow. Yellowy orange that I still have left on my sponge here. Let's just see if that makes it look better. Yeah, okay, and it's probably going to ruin it. I'm going to add a little green. Yeah, I'm going to put it right over there. I'm going to use some foam. These are 1/8" foam strips. I got these on Amazon. I just need a little piece for this other end. I think I want to put a little bit of green in the tree just to make it look like it's not quite the color of the sky. Just a little bit of green. And I might have enough on here, but I'm going to just add a little bit in. And I think this is going to make the difference. Just a touch to make it look like it's in the shadows. Yes, I like that. That's much improved. And of course I got that on Cricut. There we go. I'm tempted, but I am not going to bling this up. So that is it. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you have some pen pastels, get them out and play with them because they're fun. If you haven't heard of the Peddlers done, look them up because, oh my gosh, the scenes you can make with this. I've just got all sorts of visions in my mind. I have a little house I want to do, and then I have a mountain rubber stamp from them. So look for more cards in the future from me. I'm just going to play around with what I come up with in my mind. Well, that's it. Have a great rest of your day.